ever thought of what it's like to rediscover yourself when your children get older? I know we've been talking a lot about kids these last few episodes,
Mhm.
but it's important to think of all the factors that affect it. W- Today, we want to talk a little bit about what is it like? Like, when was that maybe that first feeling of your independence that you got back? And what did it feel like? And how did it change you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick, do you happen to remember one instance that kind of made you like, I don't have to do that anymore?
I think for me, like, we talked about this in the last podcast we filmed where I'm at the point now where I don't have to fill out signed documents anymore for my kids, my 2 older ones. I mean, they still call me. They're at the doctors. They're like, "Mom," it's like the husbands that call you, "What am I supposed to fill out?" It's, filling out those documents anymore. I don't have to do that. I remember when we were renewing my kids' passports and my 2 older ones were above 16, and there was a form on there where they got to sign specifically their name, but because they were still minors, my husband and I had to sign below. But we didn't have to sign that. But with my younger kids, I still had to sign. And that was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to do this anymore. I'm at a point. Yeah. So for me, I think it's just realizing that I'm not going to be having to sign documents anymore for them. And I think that's me. I would say is just realizing that I'm not gonna be as needed as much anymore.
Yeah, it's funny because I can probably go like a little farther back, like to the time that you say to them they have to make their own lunches,
Yeah,
or the time when they say, "Hey, I'm going to walk to school. I don't want to ride anymore."
yeah,
Or I'm gonna walk home with my friends, and that first time that you don't have to get in the car and go and pick them up,
yeah,
or make that lunch, or maybe, set up that play date because they will do it themselves.
or their driver's license, drive to school for the first time. Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
That
Like,
I can say I thoroughly enjoyed.
those are all the little
Yeah,
firsts
yeah,
of starting our independence back over again.
yeah. I can say that when my older daughter got her driver's license, I didn't have to drive her to high school because she drove her and her sister to school, and then she brought them home. I was like, "Oh my
Right?
gosh." And then, obviously, I had a year off because of their age gap, and then it was like I was driving them, and then the second one got her driver's license, and now she's driving her brother. It's like, "Oh my gosh." Obviously, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have another gap, but, I'm gonna have another gonna be needed again, which is yeah. So it's the little things. It's the little itty bitty things I think that we take for granted that we don't realize things that we do. And then you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean,
needed so much anymore.
when you think about it, how about, like, when they would brush their teeth by themselves for the first
Oh,
time,
yes.
or put themselves to bed?
Or pick out their
Um,
clothes for school.
yeah, or put their toys away, or,
Yeah.
it gets as minuscule as that, that you're like, "Wow," I have some maybe 5 or 10 minutes of quiet time for myself. I know a
Yeah.
lot of people like to factor in times for themselves. Some people will read a book, some people will go to the movies
Yeah.
or watch a movie, but some people are always on, always
Yeah.
going. So
That was
when
me.
you
That's me.
feel yeah, so when you feel that little bit of, "I don't have to do that anymore," it's
Uh-huh.
it's it's an intense feeling. It's,
Yeah. I think
you know
another one is not having to, I don't know if you mentioned it earlier, is not having to give your kids baths because they're old enough to wash their hair, wash their
Yeah.
bits, and all
Yeah,
that good
yeah,
stuff. It's
"Don't come in, I'll do it
like,
myself."
I'm good. I don't have to go in the bathroom anymore. I don't have to do
Yep.
this. You go right ahead. I'm
Make
like,
sure you
woohoo.
dry off well. Put deodorant on, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm like, okay, yeah, get dressed, pull this, do that. Yeah, I think for me, it was definitely, oh, and the potty training. Let me just tell you now. I remember the day that I didn't have to buy diapers anymore. I was like,
Yep.
it's the little things. It is the little things. I have friends, and she's just hit that stage, and she's just like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I know. I'm like, I
Yeah.
told you. I
Even,
told you.
like, even the cost, right?
Oh my gosh,
Like,
it's
"Oh my gosh, I have" you feel like you, quote, unquote, "have extra money." Obviously, you're
yeah,
spending it,
yeah.
but
The money goes elsewhere.
yeah, yeah, but you're like, "Oh my gosh, I don't have to pay that diaper bill anymore."
Or the formula.
Yeah, or the formula.
I have beef. That can be a completely different subject.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
$40 for a thing of formula. I have questions, but that is for a completely different podcast.
Yep, yep.
It's absurd. But anyways, yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. Yes, it's the little
Yeah.
things that we take for granted.
Yeah, and you know what? Even if it's so say we're saying, like, not having to help the kids take a bath or not having to drive them to school anymore, um, it's a feeling for ourselves
Yeah.
of, "Now what do I do?"
Yeah, it's funny that we're saying that. I'm literally getting text messages right now from my daughter, "Mom, can you do this? Mom, can you do that?" So while you're talking, I'll be doing this, and this is what happens when you're a parent. You have to do things. So I'm
Exactly.
not being rude. She's literally sending me a message asking me to do something, but this is part of life, you know? It's, you know?
Yeah, you know what? And so, what I was going to say was
Yeah.
that, we have all of these
Huh.
little things that obviously add up to big things. So then this is the time when us as parents, a
Yeah.
dad or a mom
Yeah.
have to think of, like, what is our little bit of a backup plan? Is it going to be that, hey, I'm going to read a book a week, or I'm going to go out with my
Yep.
girlfriends for drinks on Friday nights, or, maybe I'll be going to the movies, or maybe I'll join a club. So when
Yeah.
does it get to that point where you're like, okay, let me take care of myself a little bit
Yeah.
and let me pick out something that I like for me?
Yeah, it's I think I don't remember if we talked about this in a podcast or if you and I were just generally talking because you and we talk all the time anyways, but it was I don't like doing things for myself. I love doing them for my kids, but as my kids are getting older, I am starting to do things. So for example, this year for Christmas, every year I always get something for Christmas that the house can use. I've always been that way and I'm like whatever it is that I buy, can maybe it's a kitchen item. Like one year I bought an espresso maker, right? The whole family uses it. They love it. I always buy things for the house, right? And this was the first year I didn't do that. It was the first year. And my husband had said something. It wasn't bad. I don't remember what it was, but he was like, oh, I think it was shoes. I think I bought shoes. He's like, wow, I bought myself 2 pairs of shoes for Christmas. And my daughter goes, Dad, this is the first year mom has gotten something for herself that wasn't for the family. And he's like, what do you mean? And she says, well, didn't you realize in the past it's always been something for the house? And he goes, she's actually starting to do things for herself. And he's all, I'm like,
All
I
right.
need a new pair of shoes. That's what I got myself.
Yeah.
You know?
But we did talk about this on a podcast,
Yes,
we're always at the bottom of the line of that new
it's
pair of
true.
shoes or new
Yeah.
coat or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. It's true, and it's okay to put yourself at the bottom of the totem pole, but at the same time, you do have to take care of yourself. Like, I know you love getting manis and petties. That's not my jam, but I can take care of myself in a different way.
Exactly.
So, it just yeah. So it's always just make sure you take time for yourself. I'm at a point now where I can call up my girlfriends and say, "Hey, do you want to go for a cup of coffee?" We can go for a cup of coffee because all of our kids are older now. So,
Yeah,
but I do have a lot of friends whose kids are little, so my schedule now revolves around their schedule, which for me it's perfectly fine because my kids are all in school. So I'm like, yeah, your kid's got a half day. I'm down with it. Let's go. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But
So
it's
it's
there
interesting.
that's how they take care of that's their moment to put themselves first for the 2 or 3 hours in the morning that they don't have little ones.
Well, then I think it comes to a point where, like, right now, where we are is that we have to find the joy without our kids.
Yeah, yeah,
We have to find the joy without our kids because as much as we want them here and always to be here,
yeah,
it's time because we were able to do it before them.
yeah. I will say that I only have one out of the house. I will say that it does get easier. The first 2 weeks are really hard when they're not home because you're just so used to having them there, but then you think about it, they're coming home for Thanksgiving, they're coming home for Christmas, and then their second year of college is definitely a lot easier. I had a friend who was crying because she was dropping her kid off for the first time. And I said to her, I'm like, I know this is going to sound horrible, but I promise you it does get better. Within a week or two, it's going to become the new norm.
Mhm.
And she looked at me and I'm like, it's not a bad thing. I promise you, you're not forgetting the child. You're not loving this child any less. It's just it gets better. It's hard to
Yeah.
explain, but it's not bad. It just becomes your new norm.
And you know what? When you think about it, like when they graduate college, probably 80 or 90% of the kids come home anyway.
Yeah, yeah, Yeah.
depending on where they're going or what they're doing, unfortunately or fortunately, we live in a day and age where rents are expensive and living on your own is expensive.
So expensive.
So,
It is very, very expensive, but at the same time, you can rediscover yourself. We were talking before we went live, I mean, to record this, excuse me, about there are people out there that we know personally that have hobbies. They've turned them into jobs where they're
yes.
making picky pads, they're making bows, which by the way, my friend loves her bows that she got that I got for the girls. We have another friend, he does resin. He doesn't have kids, but that's his thing. Who knows if he has kids in the future? I don't know. But, find a hobby like Donna and I, we have this is us, right? This is our thing. Our kids are grown. They're still home, but they're, teenagers slash adults. But we don't have to be with them 24/7. We don't have to go to the dinner immediately. We don't have to do this because they can take care of themselves. And this podcast for us, this is us rediscovering ourselves. This is, my husband likes to call it a hobby for now. And he knows he wants it to turn into a full blown, business. And one day we hope it to be that. But
Yes,
this is our
absolutely.
time. This is a time that you and I get to sit down and to talk about
Mhm.
things that a lot of people don't get to talk about or don't know how to talk about or don't even know where to start. And it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
Some people are scared of their new identity. I was watching a movie once where a lady was it was a movie, I understand that, but it's still it can be real. It can be real. And, what is the new you?
yeah, and you have to remember it's not something that's the feelings that you have or the, discovery that you have is not something that's happening overnight.
No. And if you
You're building and building and building on it
yeah,
and finding, like, what works for you or what makes you happy.
yeah.
Like, this makes us happy.
Yep,
Like,
it does.
this
So we
is like
love
a goal, like you know, we need to be here.
and we'll get better at time. Always know that when you start something, and I'm going to use this for example, Don and I have a close friend, and he had started a business online, and he just wasn't, I don't know how long he's had his business going on, maybe a month or something like that, give or take a few. And last night he got his first sale. And you know what? He didn't give up. Some people would be like, I should have gotten it the first day. Oh, I should have got it the first week. He didn't give up. He didn't give up because he had friends that were supporting him 100% of the way. And even with Don and I, we have friends that support us and they love us. And they're like, yes,
Yes.
when you go, when you go. And we have family that love us, support us, the ones who know about it. There are some that don't just because we want to, we want them to figure it out on their own, which they're going to find us one day. And that's okay. Maybe when we're famous. But have that support, and just know that whatever your new identity is, whatever the hobby you're doing, that you're not going to become like that overnight. It's all about growth and make it fun. Make your new hobby fun. Maybe you're going to start bowling, right? Maybe you're going to start sewing. Maybe you're
Mhm.
going to, whatever your hobby is. Like there's people online that I've seen that started off like, making glitter, like selling glitter like to their close friends. And now they have a full-blown glitter business in their basement and they're or
Yeah,
they're selling candy and they got into it by mistake. But it started off as a hobby. But that is what they love. So, find a hobby that's something that you like. Don't go off of I'm going to do that because so and so's doing it. You have to have that yearning and that passion. And this is what Dawn and I've wanted. I've had this passion and to have this podcast for years, but it
mhm,
was never the right timing. And I know I talked about this a while ago on a post that I did where I wish that I had started sooner. And sometimes I do wish I had started this sooner, but then at the same time, I wouldn't have had Donna as my co-host. And then it would have been, where would I have been? Would it have been the same? But I still have the same information that I can give you now. I don't know, but I do know that I'm happy where I'm at now. And I know that little by little, this little hobby, as we're going to call it, podcast, is going to become something one day for us. And
exactly.
it's all about having fun while you're doing it.
I think one of the most important things also is never ever compare what you do to someone else.
Exactly. Yep.
And
Exactly.
I think that's what our friend, that made his sale last night, like, he never compares himself to
Nope.
anybody.
Never does.
He's his own entity.
Yep.
So if it takes him a month or 2 months or
Yeah.
a year to make one sale, well, then that's so
And
be it.
he is never afraid to ask questions. Like, he sent me a message a few minutes ago. When we're done here, I will answer his message because I know he's sending me a package. But, he's never afraid to ask. And just like you tell your kids, right? You're always brutally honest with your kids. You have to be. Because if you don't, if you sugarcoat it when they become adult, it's going to like smack them in the face when you go to your friends and you're like, "Hey, I want to start this as a hobby, or I want to do this, or I want to do that to start your new identity," be prepared for the same thing coming at you. They're not going to sugarcoat it. If they were true friends, they're not going to sugarcoat it. They're going to flat out tell you. But then that's when you have to sit down and go, "Okay, let's think about this. Let's think about it." Like I did one a while ago on the nose. Like, why are they telling you no? Are they telling you no because they're going to be jealous of your success? Are they
Mhm.
telling you no because they just flat out know it's not a good option for you? Or are they telling you no because they want you to go take that as fuel and go for it? Those are the three no's that I always stick by. So if somebody gives you those three no's, just sit down and go, why are they telling me no? Why are they telling me no? Are they telling me no because they don't want me to become successful because they're going to be jealous of my potential success that they won't be to become one? Are they telling me no because they are true friends? Like if Donna was to tell me right now she's gonna go, I don't even know what she would tell me she's gonna go do. And I'd be like, okay, okay, here's one. If she was to come out and tell me I'm getting married tomorrow to so and so, I'd be like, oh hell no, you're not. So I'd be in the car going up to her house, knocking upside her head, right? Or if she's gonna tell me she's moving to Italy tomorrow, I'd be like, why are we moving to Italy? Why? Why? I'm not telling you not to, but let's think about this for a
We
second.
need the pros and the cons.
We need exactly the pros and the cons list. I told my niece that. Make your pros and cons list before you pick your college moving from a different country to the United States. She made her pros and cons list and it turned out to be good things, you know. Always just sit down and accept the challenges and the changes that come to you because when you do that, that's when your real identity comes and make it fun. Make it absolute. You're going to have hard times. I mean, my kids aren't all out of the house yet, so I am no professional in any way shape or form. I have friends who are grandparents. I have friends who are great grandparents because they started having kids young and then their kids started having kids young. But at the same time, they're having fun, but they also know there's challenges with it. And with those challenges comes growth.
Exactly, exactly, and we have to remember that just, always make time for yourself. However you do it, make time for yourself because that's what's important. But again, thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, any concerns, you wanna talk to us, throw your comments in, underneath the video,
Yep.
message us. We're on all the
Yep.
socials, and, we'll be happy to help. We are not experts in any way, shape, or form, but we're always here, for a lending ear or maybe to help you find something that you need to help, you need to
Yep.
find.
And just know you're never alone and you're never the first person to have gone through this. Somebody else probably has. They just didn't want to openly talk about it. And sometimes if you openly talk about it, you'll have other people that go, oh my gosh, I went through that, but I was too afraid to talk about it. But remember, becoming a parent and watching your kids grow off is the most amazing thing ever.
Truly
And your
is.
new identity. And we can't wait to see where each and every one of you in your new identity comes and where you want to go. We can't wait to join this path with you and see your journey.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again.
Bye, guys.